Come on, BTC.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Crypto Warehouse. My name is Mike. Today, the 26th of June, it's 11 a.m. Central European time, and we have, as always, a lot to get through. We've seen some action on Bitcoin. We've seen some action in crypto in the last 24 hours. We're going to cover that, of course. We're going to look at the markets, we're going to look at some XFiles. We're going to look at what Moody has said about rate cuts. Gary Gansler was interviewed last night about the Ethereum ETF. We're then going to have a look at Blinking, which is a new service offered by Solana, which I have to say is going to drive some level of adoption. We're going to have a look at Blast and its airdrop. That is happening, as far as I'm aware, today. Nubank, which Warren Buffett is a holder of, that has launched the Lightning Network. We're going to go through what the implications are of that. Then we're going to look at OpenAI and who they have just bought and why we think they've just bought them. It's a lot to get through. I understand that. And of course, as always, good morning to all of you beautiful people in chat. Kishan is here. Hidden Agendas, Velvet, you are all here. I hope you're all doing incredibly well. One thing I will say is we are at max pain. The videos that we were putting up a month and a half, 2 months ago, were getting thousands of views. Now we are barely getting hundreds of views. The market has gone bearish. Retail is flushed out. This is normally a good sign that we are near the bottom. So, without further ado, let me know what you are doing. Let me know where you are today. Say hello in chat. Remember, every time you type in chat, it helps the algorithm. Let us get on then and have a quick look at the markets and see where we are. Bitcoin is coming in at 61.4. It's up a whole percentage point on yesterday. That's a very key figure. We're going to go through the Bitcoin chart later on, but that's a key 61.3 for me. I said yesterday, that's what we needed to hold. And so far, so good. Ethereum is just under $3,400. BNB is just under 575. And Solana has had a move up to $138. All looking good. All looking good so far. Morning, Chris. Remember yesterday, the question of the day was, have we reached the bottom? Is this the bottom? There are some indications and there are some things which are going to, in my opinion, pump us towards the end of the week. And we're going to go through that in the X-Files, as well as when we talk about what Gary Gensler's had to say. Now, we've had a few gainers. Again, when the markets recover, meme coins absolutely rip. We saw it yesterday, we're seeing it again today. Dog with hat, Pepe is up. I think Dog with hat has got some serious whales on board. There are millions and millions and millions of Dog with hat being bought. They're nearly back at a $2 billion market cap. It's pretty incredible what's going on. Pepe is up just a touch. Excuse me, going further down, Brett is up. So there's a fair few gainers in the last 24 hours. And again, not too many losers. Very similar to yesterday. Near is down 527, absolute steal for Near Protocol. Layer 0 isn't a bad price at 265. Pendle isn't doing too bad. Sui at 84 cents isn't a bad price either. Not a fan of Phantom. And Matic, what is going on with Matic? 55 cents for Matic. Unbelievable. So overall then, the markets are looking good. Bitcoin and Ethereum dominance is still coming in at 70% of the market. The volume has come down an awful lot. Again, there's no real volume at this moment in time. And the market cap is coming in at just over 2.25 trillion. So not bad. Good morning, Chris. Welcome to the stream. I think it's one of those late mornings. People are coming to the stream late this morning. They've obviously had a good time celebrating the Bitcoin pump last night. That is all I can say. Right, let's move on with some X-Files. Again, if you're new here, just let me take a second to remind you, we stream every day at this time, Monday to Saturday. So make sure to subscribe and follow, and make sure to like the stream. Bottom left-hand corner, we are just over 141,000 followers. The target is 200,000 by the end of the year. Who knows if we're going to make it, but that's the target. Bottom right-hand corner, $74,000 is the target, and the ETF Time Inc., which is the title of the show today, we are going to go through that when we get there. So let's get on with the X-Files and see what we have. Again, like yesterday, they are in no particular order. These are just interesting posts. With flipped optimism in market cap, this is how crazy meme coins are, in my humble opinion. Optimism, solid layer 2 project on Ethereum. Built out, people build on top of optimism. It's been flipped in market cap by a meme coin. I mean, and it's not even a good meme coin. It's a dog with a hat on. I mean, come on. So again, just be careful when you invest in crypto to make sure that you keep an eye on the charts and value projects based on how they are going to make money in the future, not just on a pretty dog with a silly hat. Now then, this is tied into the conversation that was had yesterday with Gary Gansler on CNN. VanEck just filed their 8A form for the spot Ethereum ETF, which is just part of the process, but it should be noted they filed their 8A for the Bitcoin ETF 7 days before launch. Now, if you've watched me before, you will know I have gone for July the 4th, Independence Day, as the day this ETF will go live. Eric Balchunas, who knows way more than I do, he has gone for July the 2nd. It's next week. Okay? Price action right now is choppy. Next week, potentially we have the Ethereum ETF. What does that mean? The markets will pump. hold on to your hats. We probably have seen the bottom. Probably. Anything is possible. Sure, we will hear more soon. And that is the title of the article to do with Gary Gansler, because he was interviewed last night. So we will get onto that in the course of the show. Moving very quickly on then. Again, I've alluded to this when we were talking about AVAX, when we were talking about some of these crypto projects have got into bed with cloud computing services. The cloud computing market is projected to get to 2.3 trillion by 2032. Not interested in that. However, this is the key point. A systematic failure in one of these could impact users globally. Now, what I'm concerned about is, if you look at AVAX, for example, I think Solana has also got some deals with Google as well. Amazon Web Services as well, Microsoft, Google, they are dominating. What happens if Amazon and Google are taken down? What happens when they are hacked, crashed, whatever you want to call it? What happens to the blockchains that are overly reliant on those solutions? That is for me, an inherent problem with an awful lot of these partnerships that are going on. It's a danger. Now, it's not a danger right now because we are not at critical mass. We're going to do a study, by the way. We're going to do maybe a video or maybe a segment called The 100th Monkey. And that's to do with adoption. We're nowhere near adoption right now. We're going to go through the new bank Lightning offering in a minute, and we'll talk a little bit more about adoption. But have at the back of your mind, it's all well and good having decentralized nodes. If all of those decentralized nodes happen to be running on Amazon Web Services, it's not decentralized. The same with Microsoft or Google. If 80% of Solana's nodes are running on cloud services operated by 3 companies, there is an inherent point of failure with that blockchain. That's something to bear in mind. Moving on very quickly. These are only supposed to be snippets. I don't know if I've already covered this one. Okay. So this is to do with Gary Gansler. We're going to get into that, as I said. But this was a specific question that I wanted to take out. Mark Cuban said, "You could literally cost Biden the election. What is your response to that?" I don't speak about elections, says Gary Gansler. And the comment underneath, "You can tell Gary wanted no part of that question, but it had to be asked. Glad she did. A little tense, but financial conferences could use more tense moments, in my opinion." Now, why is that important? It's important because he is clearly not telling the truth. Why is he not telling the truth? Because he's done a 180 on Ethereum in a month. That's why. Now, that change of opinion doesn't come from him and his team. It comes from the very top. Biden knows that Trump has stolen a march on crypto. We already know Donald Trump is going to appear at a conference in July. Now, a lot of people are saying that it's a token gesture. I don't care. If you'd have said to me 4 years ago that Donald Trump is going to be appearing at a Bitcoin conference in July 2024, I would think you were off your rocker. That's where we've got to. Gary Gansler has been told from up high to approve this Ethereum ETF. All the people talking about September and October are wrong because it's too close to the election. What Biden wants to do is get on a podium in a few weeks' time with Donald Trump and talk about how Biden and how Biden's government is pushing forward with crypto, how they have approved a Bitcoin ETF, how they've approved an Ethereum ETF, how they are safeguarding Americans. That's the angle that they want. And I have said from the beginning, July the 4th, because Biden is about symbolic dates. Bear that in mind. Now then, Audius has been around for an age. Audius is a decentralized music streaming platform on Solana. You can buy this token, by the way. I don't hold any of it. I am not condoning it. This is not sponsored. I'm just telling you what is out there. It has secured licensing agreements with all major US performing rights organizations, including the ones listed here that I do not know anything about. What is important about this? If you look at how adoption was driven of the internet, it created digitized versions of everything. Movies, books, you then had podcasts, you had, what else have you had? Banking, you've had online shopping, you've got Amazon. We digitized the world, and what we are doing now, or trying to do now, is move it from a digital version to a blockchain version. And Audius is one of many companies trying to do this. Now, this for me is important. If I can pay for my music in Sol every month, and it's cheaper than paying for Spotify or whoever else is out there, Apple Music, I would consider doing it. We're moving towards what I think we need, which is subscription-based blockchain solutions. So we need to get to the point where Audius can set up a subscription using Solana, which you agree to and can cancel at any time. We need that, and we need it sooner rather than later. You look at all the great revenue-generating businesses at the minute online that are based on a subscription. They revolve around movies, they revolve around music, they revolve around books. You pay a subscription, you get all the books, all the music, all the videos. Okay? How does blockchain tap into that? How does Solana tap into that? It creates a blockchain-based subscription service. It's not ready yet, but it will be. And when it happens, it's going to change Solana. And Solana, as I've said multiple times, it's the retail blockchain of choice. And if we've got Audius offering a subscription-based music service on Solana, and it competes with the likes of Spotify, guess what? It's going to be another driver for adoption, because you have a Phantom wallet, you obviously have your Solana mobile phone, but if you can plug into Phantom and get your subscription to Audius through your Phantom wallet, you are one step closer to adoption. So this is probably not going to be talked about in many places, but for me it is huge news. And well, let's wait and see how well it gets on, because when we talk about blinking in a minute, that's actually pretty incredible that Solana have built that. A few more people have joined us. Good morning, Tariq. Chris is obviously trying to get everybody to smash the like button. Remember, smash the like button. It really helps us. Solo Sky is here. Good morning. Let's move on. Moody has issued a statement on the possible Fed rate cut. Now, this is important. The day this happens, the money printer gets turned back on and Bitcoin rips. We have waited and waited and waited. And as I have said, very similar to the July the 4th ETF for Ethereum, Biden is not going to go into this election without rate cuts. The election is November. We've been talking about 2 rate cuts. It's July, August, September, October, 4 months. So potentially we have a rate cut in July and a rate cut in September. I don't think we will get one in July and one in August, and I believe that there isn't a Fed, an FOMC meeting. I don't think they meet in August. I think they have a month off. So we would need rate cuts in July and we would need them in September, I think, personally, to get us where we want to go. So this, again, coupled with the ETF news that we're going to talk about in a minute, is massive news. So Mark Zandi, in his latest interview with Bloomberg Television, expressed his belief that the Fed could or should start to cut interest rates. He pointed out that GDP growth was 2.5% last year, 1.5% on an annual basis. below the economy's potential. He also stated that unemployment started to rise and first applications for unemployment benefits started to increase. Again, what does he want? He wants inflation to come down. He wants unemployment to go up because that reduces wage inflation, and he wants property prices to come down. Those are his three things. Once he ticks all those three boxes, he is off. People can't afford homes. People are being made redundant, and inflation is down. What more does he want? If it keeps coming, if he keeps the same rate of inflation, it is going to start to cripple the economy. And that's the issue. And again, Zandy says here, there's a real chance they'll make a mistake and not cut. And that's the issue. Remember, they're starting to cut interest rates in Europe. The UK is going to follow suit. America will follow suit. It is a matter of time. He pointed out that the financial system is under great pressure. The yield curve is still inverted. The yield curve is basically the shorter term bonds are paying a higher APR than the long-term bonds. Basically what it is. Now, when the yield curve flips, that is normally not a good sign for the economy when it goes back the way it should be, because that's normally a sign of recession. Anyway, the point of the matter is, expect a rate cut. I think it's going to be in the next month. I think it's going to be July, it's going to be August, it's going to be sooner rather than later. What is that going to do to Bitcoin? Well, if we very quickly head over to Bitcoin and have a quick look, I will let you know. Now then, we're on the right chart. A rate cut for Bitcoin, in my opinion, pushes us back towards $70,000. That's how much of an impact it can have. At the minute, we've highlighted the zone here, and we've highlighted what we need to do. We are currently sitting inside the bull market support band. We have to break $64,000. What's going to get us above $64,000? The news of the Ethereum ETF, in my opinion. It's bullish for the market as a whole. Ethereum will rip. We could see, not saying we're going to see, we could see $4,000 on Ethereum in the next week or two, if it's approved. Alternatively, we could see it rip to $4,000, and then in the same way that the Bitcoin ETF went live and Grayscale started to dump, we could see the same thing again. We could see Grayscale dump Ethereum and Ethereum go back down to $3,200. But it's not the same scale as when it happened with Bitcoin. They are both, it is a smaller amount of money. Ethereum is only 17% of crypto, whereas Bitcoin was 52%. So it will have less of an impact, but it will still have an impact. So I expect some volatility in the next couple of weeks. However, the price that I think we need to hold is 61.3. If we get rejected, we are going to come down to 58.4 again, which we whipped to here. So I think we have to break 64 and at the minimum hold 61.3. I was talking to the Oracle last night. He's obviously going to do his trading stream either tomorrow night or tonight, depending on what happens with the Ethereum ETF. He will give you a better view on what's going on. I think we need to break 64. He thinks we're going to come down to 58. He even said 56, 5, 55, 6, something like that. So it's not going to happen one way or the other immediately. We're not going to crash today to 56k. It will get a rejection. Now, that rejection for me is 64k. We've drawn it on the charts. What could likely happen is we get rejected off the top. We come all the way down to 50 and then we bounce. Because remember, we're in a bull market. We are in a bull market. We are not in the bear market. In a bear market, what you would likely see is this constant rejection for months on end, where we have a few little spikes up, we just trend down. We're in a bull run. As I've said the last 3 days, miners will run out of Bitcoin. The sell pressure from the ETFs is likely to subside. We are oversold. We've retraced. We have come down 20%. yet again, almost 20% yet again. We are due some upward movement, and I think that Ethereum ETF news, which I think is going to come out in the next 48 hours, that's going to be what propels us up, and we're going to sit here maybe at 64, maybe at 67,000, and we're all going to be a lot happier than a lot of you are today. So hold on to your hats. Let's see if we get there. Now I'm going to move on because I don't want to spend too long pondering the point. We are going to look at the Ethereum chart after this, and we're going to get on to what Gary Gensler said. Now, what's interesting about what Gary Gensler has said here is not the words he used, how he used the words. And I know that sounds crazy, because whenever we listen to Chairman Powell, I always say, ignore the decision, listen to what he has to say. With Gary Gensler, it's different. Gary Gensler is not meant to be transparent. He is meant to be as cloak and dagger as possible. That's his role. He's not going to let you front run him. So he was interviewed last night on, was it CNN? He was on, the Bloomberg Invest Summit in New York. He said the process of several Ethereum ETF applications was going smoothly. Okay. He does not know exactly when these products will be able to start trading. He has stated that the asset managers are supposed to make proper disclosures before the launch. The SEC boss previously stated Ethereum ETFs would go live in the summer. Now, we aren't going to go into too much of that because I think it's a video. Now, I want to take you back a few months to when the Bitcoin ETF was approved. And he said, this had to be approved because we lost in court. We were legally required to approve this Bitcoin ETF. What happened? There was a vote. I think there was 5 of them. 3 voted for the Bitcoin ETF. Those were the Republicans and Gary Gensler. 2 voted against it. They were the Democrats. So even though the judge in the court said you have to approve it, still 2 of them went against it. And he came out and he basically said, begrudgingly, we have to approve it. We have no choice. Look what he's saying now. The process is going smoothly. It's going to go live sometime in the summer, or July is the summer. Why has he changed his tune? Biden. That's why he's changed his tune. It's going smoothly, which means there's no obstacles. Go back to what he was saying about Ethereum 12 months ago. It's a security. Of course it's a security. They carried out and started to carry out an investigation into the Ethereum Foundation. That was dropped. Why was that dropped? Because you can't approve an ETF for Ethereum with an outstanding investigation. So it was dropped. Why was it dropped? Again, it's coming from the powers above. The SEC are going to approve the Ethereum ETF, and it is going to go live in the next 7 to 10 days. I am absolutely certain on it. It's as if he's had the shackles taken off him. Don't forget, 4 years ago, he was praising blockchain technology. He was a lecturer on blockchain technology, and he was lauding it from the heavens. He loved Algorand, he loved Bitcoin, he loved everything about decentralization. He becomes the head of the SEC, appointed by Joe Biden, and suddenly he's perma-bear. That's the issue. Now then, how is Ethereum looking? Well, it's pretty much given up the majority of its ETF gains. So this was the news that Ethereum was going to be approved for its ETF. It ran up from about 3,100 all the way up to 4,000, and it's come all the way down to 3,300. In fact, it went as low as 3,240. Now, unlike Bitcoin, which is stuck in the middle of its bull market support band, Ethereum has been in this range and it has bounced. And it has bounced at the top of its bull market support band. What happens when it bounces? It goes up. We, in my humble opinion, are a week away from a $4,000 Ethereum. Maybe 10 days. It's going to happen very soon. Now, it doesn't require, in my opinion, the Ethereum ETF to go live. It requires the letter from the SEC coming out saying that they have approved the Ethereum ETF S1 applications by VanEck and BlackRock and everybody else. That's what's going to rip the price. Now, the issue is, how much is Grayscale going to dump? The Grayscale Ethereum Trust will be converted into an Ethereum ETF. When it happened with Bitcoin, it dumped. Is the same thing going to happen with Ethereum? I don't know. I really don't know. I think it's going to have sell pressure, absolutely. People getting into the Ethereum trust were in there from 4 or 5 years ago. I don't know if it's going to dump, but I do think we are going to touch $4,000. Now, if you take the price of that today, that is potentially a $600 move up, which is what? 17, 18% move up, I think. So, I'm expecting fireworks. That's what I'm trying to say. I'm expecting fireworks from Ethereum. I'm expecting fireworks from Bitcoin. We are going to get a rate cut. We are going to get the Ethereum ETF. What comes next? Now, again, it's the professionalism in these streams is absolutely second to none. I tell you what comes next, and that is this. The Solana ETF comes next. We're going to have a look at the chart in a minute, but let's go through this. Now, this is something really unusual that I didn't know anything about until it went live. So I don't know whether they were keeping it quiet. I don't know whether they were keeping it on the lowdown so nobody knew about it, to be bullish on Solana. Actions and blinks. These allow crypto transactions from websites and apps. Crazy, eh? The Solana Foundation introduced on June the 25th, which was yesterday, new tools to integrate crypto transactions into everyday internet use. These tools, named Actions and Blinks, simplify and expand the accessibility of blockchain interactions by enabling users to perform on-chain transactions across websites, social media platforms, and digital channels. The most notable example is, of course, X. Now, I don't know if pressing that is actually going to cause me. The other day I showed you a clip and we got copyright struck for that clip, so I've got to be very careful. So, you link, you can donate directly from here, okay? That is directly from X. You can share a blink. This is how it works. You put a link up, it gives you the amounts underneath. You can do this directly via Facebook, I imagine, via Instagram, via X. It is just a link. Obviously, it is connected to your wallet, but this is really, really cool. Now ask yourself a question. Solana is doing all of this. What's Ethereum doing? What is Ethereum doing that makes this impossible to do on Ethereum? Transaction fees. Why is Polygon not doing this? Why is Optimism? Why is Arbitrum not doing this? Why are they not moving forward with stuff like this? It makes no sense. Solana are sweeping the board. They are taking over. If they get this working on X and other social media platforms, it's going to be over for everybody else as far as retail is concerned, in my opinion. Now, this isn't just a gimmick. I could put a video up and ask for donations or ask for whatever else it might be on social media and say, do you want to help support the channel? Donate $1, okay? It costs me no time to generate that link. I put that at the bottom of all of my tweets. What does it do? It gives me a revenue that I currently don't have. So as far as content creators are concerned, it's great. Here's another example. Do you want me to make a video about your project? I put 3 or 4 prices underneath. somebody clicks $10, I will go and give them a mention on one of my X videos. It's stolen a march on what Elon Musk is trying to do with tipping via Doge. If this works, it's going to take over, and I cannot stress enough how amazing this is. According to Solana then, several teams including Cubic, Sanctum, Tenor, Realms, Access Jupiter, Helium, Truffle and Helios are set to test and implement these new tools. Also, key platforms and wallets have also begun integrating it. It's massive news. It's basically tipping. It's incredible. If I was bullish on Solana before, I'm even more bullish now, because this doesn't just apply to me. You could also use it for anything that you were doing. It's just a nice, simple way of connecting crypto into traditional media. Now then, Solana. What do I think will happen to Solana once the ETF applications start to go in? We will go to $200. That's where we're going to go. An ETF application is going to rip Solana. Remember, Bitcoin has a huge market cap compared to Ethereum. Ethereum went up 25%. Solana has a smaller market cap than Ethereum. It will rip. Now, if it rips 50%, it's at $200. It's a smaller market cap. Was it 80, 90 billion dollars? Ethereum is 300 or 400 billion. Solana's going to rip. It's going to break $200. It might never come back down again. But it's about timing. We don't know when the Solana ETFs are going to be put in. We don't know when they're going to be approved. We know it's on the cards. We know VanEck, we know BlackRock are ready to submit it. They are not going to submit it until the ETF application has been approved. And in my opinion, the day that that ETF goes live, let's say for argument's sake, it's July the 11th, and I'm wrong by a week, July the 12th, the Solana ETF application will go in. That's what's going to happen. So you have 2 weeks to watch Solana, to see where Solana is going to go, and then make your decision. Don't think a Solana ETF application is going to cause the price to not move. It is absolutely going to move based solely on speculation. I've shown you this many times before. I'm going to show you again. This is the Grayscale Solana Trust, which, as far as I'm aware, holds one Solana for each share. It is currently at $391. Grayscale Solana Trust, $391. What does the chart say? $137. It is, for argument's sake, 3 times the value of what the price is today. We aren't going to go to $391 in a month. Don't get me wrong. What I'm saying is, investors buy at this price, expecting it to go above this price, $400, $500, $600. I've already said, in the bull run, we will not hit $1,000 without the Solana ETF. Without the Solana ETF, we will be getting to $650 on Solana. That's a 5x from today. If we get the Solana ETF, we will 7-8x from where we are today. However, we're a long way from there. I'm just giving you a forecast. I've put in a video. I'm not making it up. Well, I'm not making it up. I'm predicting, but it's in a video. I made a $1,000 Solana video. Again, like everything else we're making at the minute, it absolutely tanked because nobody's watching videos. But the point of the matter is, we've had this action, and guess what? We bounced off our line and we broke up. So the minimum we need to target on Solana is $171, which is awfully close to the $174, which is a fair old level of resistance for Solana. So where are we from there? We are 30% move, 25% move from there. It's about timing. Now, if you've stacked up on Solana and you bought at $174 and you are now feeling remorse because it's $137, don't panic. We are moving up. Okay, we are going to get there. These corrections happen all the time in bull markets, in bear markets. Nothing goes up or down forever. We have been in this downward pattern for 3 weeks and we've just broken it. We've just broken it. We closed above and now we've opened above. So again, $152 is the next target. Then maybe we look at 174 and getting back to that fib level. Breaking that's going to be important, because what we could do is do that. But with Solana ETF news, we will see a God candle and it will just do that and then probably come down again like the Ethereum one has done, which we've just shown in the previous chart. So I am still very bullish on Ethereum. I am still very bullish on Solana. I'm not going to play the game of trying to trade the ETF go lives on either Ethereum or Solana. If Solana is dumped by Grayscale, I don't care. If Ethereum is dumped by Grayscale, I don't care. I didn't sell my Bitcoin. I'm not going to sell my Ethereum. I'm not going to sell my Solana because I'm going to hold them for the end of the bull run. So if the price does go to 290, 300, 350, and then comes back to 200, I don't care. I'm going to hold it for the bull run. If we start to get towards $500 or $600 for Solana, I am then going to start taking profits. That's my area. I don't know if it's going to go to $1,000, but I do know that $500, $600 for Solana is a really good price. Now then, moving swiftly on, we've got loads of time. Oh no, we don't. We've got 3 articles left to do. We have some time. Now, Blast, this was published yesterday. Blast, the airdrop is happening today. Now, I was going to include an airdrop video about the up-and-coming airdrops, but there's like 20 airdrops, and I didn't want to go through them one by one. It would take too long. So I'm going to focus on a couple of them in the next few days, because there are some airdrops coming up. There's also some unlocks coming up in July where you'll be rewarded. Camino, we've mentioned yesterday. Jupiter, we mentioned yesterday. Well, this one is happening today, and it's Blast. Now, what is going to happen, as happens with every coin that does this, it is going to monumentally pump and then monumentally dump. Every single time in the last 2 years, we have seen a coin airdropped like this. It has dumped. It has found the bottom, and then it has started to move on up. So this is scheduled for today, June 26th. It's a layer 2. It's the second largest layer 2. Many early Blast depositors were shocked when they received a points multiplier instead of liquid tokens. At mainnet launched in February, and despite promises to conduct a drop in May, the date was delayed to June the 26th, which is today. Although Blast has not provided complete tokenomics until today, it's committed to setting aside half of the nebulous initial airdrop allocation to recipients of points, another half to holders of gold. Now, we don't need to go into the in-depth analysis of this. Needless to say, it's been a long, winding road filled with a lot of leaderboards and incentive charades, but now, after all this time, the team finally has to deliver its airdrop. Now, I think it's going to dump. That's my honest opinion. You might be excited. You might really like Blast. I think it will dump. I've looked at 20 or 30 charts in the last 3 or 4 months alone of coins that have gone live. And what they tend to do, if I just bring up TradingView for a second, let me show you what I think is likely to happen. Now, this isn't an indication that Blast is a bad project, by the way. This is just the economics of it. So what I think is likely to happen is this. This was launch day. This wick here was launch day for Dupe. It got up to the princely price of $87 cents, sorry. What happened? If we zoom in, this is the daily chart, by the way. Imagine that this is Blast. So today, Blast launches and it goes to 87 cents. And you hold a bag of 1,000 of these things. Sell them. Not financial advice. Because what will happen is this entire period down here, which is 1st of February to the 4th of March. So let's call it a month. You have a month to accumulate the very coin that you like at prices way below where it will go. Now, it can go the opposite way. It can do this. Okay? It can do that. Neither I know, but what I do know is it will have to find a bottom. It will have to find a floor price for the token. Now, if you go back over my tweets for Jupiter, I was buying Jupe at 45, 47, 49 cents. Why? Because I knew it was going to do that. Okay? Now, what I didn't do was sell it because I'm holding it for the bull run. But if you are tooled with this information, look at how it's launching. It's launching just after a fairly decent correction. So the chances are, if the price goes up today, people are going to dump it because it's free money. It's a stimmy, as they call it in America. So if you want to buy Blast, my humble opinion, you will see an awful lot of sell pressure on this coin. Exactly, Tariq. I don't know if it's actually available to look at. What is the name of the coin? Blast. Yeah, it's not quite there yet. But the point of the matter is, Duke ran from 50 cents to 87 cents on its launch day. So it went up 75%. And then people bought in. Now, if you buy today, let me just clarify something else as well. If you buy today and you don't care about price action, you've probably got a good 6 weeks to wait for the price to start rising again. And then what you will get is price discovery. And price discovery, it goes above its launch and it starts to do this amazing pump. But then, guess what? It has to come back down to find its previous high. Okay? So, all of that is likely to happen in one guise or another for these token launches. Now, you will hear on a lot of the videos that I make about these airdrop tokens that we get, that I can't mention the names of on here, but you know which ones I'm talking about. The launch pools or the startups, whatever way you want to call it. What happens is, I will normally say, sell this token or hold this token. And if that token goes live and rips, I sell it. So if I have a price target in my head of $4 or $5 for a token and it goes to $7, I'm out. Because, I'll give you a good example, IO. IO, great project. By the way, for those of you that are holding your IO, the staking, as far as I'm aware, went live yesterday. So IO tweeted out yesterday. In fact, I'm going to go off on a tangent, which I shouldn't do, but we've got plenty of time for me to tell you. And I know a lot of you out there are holding this token. So IO announced yesterday where was it? Here we go. So 17 hours ago, IO block rewards are now live for GPU and CPU suppliers. For the rewards, 80% are allocated to the GPUs, 20% to CPUs. There's a chance for you to contribute to the growth of the IONET ecosystem and earn rewards for doing so. So on here, you will be able to go over and start to stake your IO. Now, what I did with IO was it went way beyond where I thought the price of IO should go. So I sold it. I kept the money in USDC. It's now come down. I believe it was at $4.50. I sold it at, I don't know what I sold it at, $6 odd. So I'm going to buy my IO back I'm going to buy more of my IO back for the amount of dollars that I had in it. But anyway, I know Tariq is holding IO, and I know a few other people are holding IO. So as far as I'm aware, you can head over to IO and you can check that out. Now then, Warren Buffett has always said he's not a fan of crypto. He's not a fan of Bitcoin. He's not a fan of a lot of these things. But bear one thing in mind. He has many fingers in many pies, and one of them is Nubank. Now, Nubank is one of these TradFi banks that's trying to become sexy, and they've got themselves an online presence, and they've just added the Lightning Network for 100 million customers. Now, I used the Lightning Network on Saturday or Sunday, can't remember which. To send a Bitcoin transaction costs you roughly $38. To send a Lightning Network transaction, it is capped at 0.01 Bitcoin, but it costs you less than $1. It costs you 96 cents to send over the Lightning Network. If you want to send a Bitcoin transaction over the BSC chain, I don't think it costs you a lot either, 80 cents or something like that. So the Lightning Network is what you should be using to send your Bitcoin. And every exchange worth its salt should offer Lightning, and they don't. Okay? And I understand why. It is a bit finicky, and there is a max cap. So, having these banks allowing Bitcoin to be sent over the Lightning Network resolves a problem that we have with Bitcoin, and that is the more valuable Bitcoin becomes, the more expensive it is to send the transaction. And at times when the network is incredibly busy, it's also really expensive in terms of the percentage of your Bitcoin, both monetary and Satoshi wise. So having the Lightning Network available, it is a pain in the backside because you can only send 100th of a Bitcoin, or I could only send 100th of Bitcoin when I was testing it out. So if you want to send one whole Bitcoin, it's obviously cheaper to send it directly on blockchain, but it can take hours to get there as well. The Lightning Network, it is there. The Lightning Network took the time it took me to boil a kettle to actually send my Bitcoin, and I had to send it in 3 amounts. But $3 to send $1,800 in a matter of a minute or two is fantastic. So Neobank have introduced this. I think a lot of other banks are going to introduce this. It is the future. No matter what people say, the Bitcoin maxis, like the Lightning Network isn't Bitcoin. I don't care. I don't care about that argument. What I care about is you being able to send your Bitcoin from A to B without being fleeced in the process. That's the issue. I don't think it's anything that we should worry about in terms of Bitcoin maxis, or are purists, and they are the purest form of their cult, and they don't like layer 2s on Bitcoin, they don't like DeFi on Bitcoin, they don't like the Lightning Network, they complain about it and they say X, Y, or Z. That's not going to drive adoption of Bitcoin. What's going to drive adoption of Bitcoin is allowing the man in the street to send his $100 or $200 of Bitcoin from A to B, and it cost him 50 or 60 cents. That's what we need. Not a $100 transaction costing $38, because that's just as bad as Ethereum. We need your updated opinion on runes. Yeah, I haven't looked at runes in an awfully long time. I don't think I've looked at runes since they caused the Bitcoin network to basically grind to a halt. We did a lot of stuff about Udi Verhammer, the wizards, Taproot wizards. We did a lot of stories about them. Haven't covered them since. The only thing I've seen is lots of people are selling off their runes. Lots of people are selling off their NFTs. That's normally a sign they think that the value of the cryptocurrency is going to go up faster than the value of anything else they're holding. But I'll have a look. If I can find something on runes for tomorrow, I'll stick something in. One other thing which I will mention now. I didn't do the video I said I was going to do on AI tech because when I looked, I think I told you yesterday, I saw a couple of influencers in their website, and as soon as I saw that, I ran a country mile. The reason being is influencers or shillfluencers may have all the best intentions in the world, and I get that. But if it goes south and I've made a video about it, I don't want to be categorized in the same category as people that have carried out a pump and dump on a project. I don't want to do that. So I binned it and I made a video about WolfSwap. There we go. So Nubank received $500 million investment from Berkshire Hathaway, led by Warren Buffett, enabling over 100 million Nubank customers to access solutions that make their financial lives simpler and more efficient through Lightning is something unique and makes us extremely proud. At Lightspark, we are thrilled to enable the development of new services from the crypto universe alongside new talented team. Expect to see more of this. Now, you probably heard of Revolut, and you've probably heard of Robinhood, and you've probably heard of, I'm trying to think of who else would be doing it, eToro. They are kind of glorified brokers, and they offer stocks and shares, and they've started offering crypto quite a few years ago now, and you can stake now on Revolut, and you can get bonk and all those kind of things. The next step, I think, for these new types of banks is to start to offer the ability for people to withdraw their Bitcoin that they've bought through their app directly to a wallet, or Ethereum or Solana. That's the next step. And of course, there's a regulatory nightmare with that. They have to declare KYC. It's not the issue of sending it out that's the problem, it's receiving it. If I send 3 Bitcoin to a bank, to Revolut, for example, hypothetically speaking, I'm sending them $200,000. Anti-money laundering, KYC, all of those things, risk, have to be taken into account for that bank to accept my Bitcoin, because they don't know where it's come from. It's come from the blockchain. Great. How do I prove it's mine? How do I prove how I got hold of it? That's the issue. And it's not so, like I said, it's not so much an issue of the banks not technically being able to do it. Of course they can all do it, but a regulatory point of view, there's an issue. Now then, we've got 5 minutes left. We're at the last article. So we will very briefly go through this. Now, this is important. How are we doing for likes? It's quiet, lads. It's quiet out there today. I can tell there's a lot of people suffering, a lot of people in pain, a lot of people who've given up. But that's fine. The ones of you that are here, the ones that you've stuck by us, we thank you greatly. So OpenAI, Sam Altman and his gang have acquired a screen sharing startup. The multiplayer collaboration software firm is shutting down its app to join the ChatGPT desktop project. Why would they be doing that, I wonder? OpenAI has acquired the collaboration software Multi, the New York-based startup announced on Tuesday. Comes less than a week after the AI giant announced it has acquired analytics database provider Rockset. Recently, we've been asking ourselves how we should work with computers, not on or using, but truly with them, with AI. We think of it as one of the most important product questions of our time. OpenAI declined to comment on the acquisition when contacted by Decrypt, but according to a report of a source close to OpenAI, they confirmed the deal. Launched in 2019 as Remotion, Multi developed screen sharing and collaboration software for the Mac, allowing 10 people to simultaneously work on a project and describing its approach as multiplayer. As a result of the acquisition, the startup said it's shutting down the service and will delete all user data by July the 24th. According to the company, they will join OpenAI and specifically will work on ChatGPT for desktop computers. So much to say, but what matters most, talking to users and shipping. There we go. Now then, The announcement came the same day that OpenAI announced that ChatGPT desktop app for Mac was widely available, providing users with the latest version. Now then, there's a reason for this, and it's very simple. If you want to get rid of your customer service staff, how do you do it? At the minute, you replace them with an FAQ system, you replace them with a knowledge base. OpenAI is going to put somebody's face on a camera and talk to you in real time. And you will say to it, I can't get my printer to work. And that AI will connect to your computer, fix your printer problems, and disconnect. And that will be at zero cost to the company. And it will cost you maybe a fraction of what you would normally pay. You might even have a subscription service. They might even launch OpenAI Help, where you will pay them $15 or $25 a month to have an AI node or bot available to you 24/7 to answer any problems you've got on your computer. Customer service will be gone. Microsoft will pay through the nose for that solution, except they've got their own. Google will pay through the nose for that service, except they've got their own. Every multinational that has any software on your computer will be using AI within the next 2 years to fix your problems. All of those jobs will be gone. That is step one. Imagine you need to pay your telephone bill, or your electricity bill, or your water bill, or your gas bill, and you have 24/7 customer support that requires no waiting, requires no phone bills. You can just connect your computer directly to the OpenAI chatbot, and you speak to that AI bot, and you tell them that you can't afford to pay your bill this month. Can you pay it over 3 or 4 months? And the AI bot will negotiate a repayment plan with you. It's not going to be a computer says no. It's not going to be a you have to pay that now or we're going to send the bailiffs round. It's going to be a solution that works for you. As a consumer, are you going to benefit? Absolutely. Of course you are. But it's like boiling a lobster. The lobster is quite happy in the water until it's not there anymore. We are sleepwalking into millions of people being unemployed. Now, there is no way to stop this from happening. Governments would have to bring in legislation to stop this from happening. But who, as a consumer, would you rather use? Would you use an AI bot that doesn't have an attitude and you can talk to the second you press a button? Do you want that? Or do you want to talk to an individual who might be having a bad day? You might be the last call of the day where they want to get you off the phone. AI is going to benefit mankind greatly, especially when it comes to reforesting deserts, populating Mars, whatever it might be. They're going to have benefits, but with those benefits come these issues. How do we find employment for all of these customer service staff? That's the key. And there are hundreds, if not millions of people in customer service who are all going to lose their jobs, and they can't compete. That's the issue. OpenAI is going to be that smiling face that helps you out, that will read your body language if you're on camera. It will analyze your voice and understand that you are scared or angry or upset or whatever else it might be, and it will know how to talk to you. That is scary. It's like worm tongue in Lord of the Rings. It's a scary thing, but it's going to happen. So AI is moving towards creating probably the biggest customer service company in the world. And because it's AI and it can teach itself, and remember, they're looking at artificial general intelligence as well, not just AI. And artificial general intelligence, the sole purpose of that is to replace human beings in jobs. So be very careful for applauding these kind of really cool things, because it might be quicker for you, but it's like self-service tills. That's more people out of work. Banking, going into your local branch, they're all going to be gone because they've all moved online. And that's the issue. So be very careful what you wish for. Now then, that is the end of the show. It's gone 12 o'clock. If you have any questions, drop them into chat. Other than that, I'm probably going to go and make some videos. I did the X video yesterday about Wolfswap, like I said. I might make a couple of videos today. Kabir turns up at the death. Good morning, Kabir. I hope you are well. We are going to go... Now, it's Wednesday. So, as far as I'm aware, Brogan will be streaming tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. I will be back at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. So, an hour earlier than this tomorrow. Remember to give us a follow and subscribe to the channel. We are really struggling on certain channels, really struggling to get traction because the market is dead. We know the market is dead because we've been through it. We are not getting the traction we were getting in May and March and April and February. We're just not getting it. So if you are new here, please give us a subscribe, help us grow. And until tomorrow, I wish you all a very pleasant hump day. And I will see you all in the morning. Take care. Thank you, Kabir, Chris, Reza, Tariq, Solo Sky, all of you guys. See you all in the morning. Take care.